Hi everyone. So you've watched a couple of YouTube videos and you've decided that you're going to get into free diving or you're going to get into snorkeling. You've just bought your first mask and now you're ready for your first dive. I'm going to show you quickly what to do to prepare your mask just before you get into the water, just to kind of make sure that the mask doesn't fog up and ruin the experience for you. It's generally something that can be quite irritating. So generally what happens is, as you put the mask on, you jump in the water and over time you start to get kind of a fogging on the inside of the mask, and this is basically caused by essentially condensation. So you've got hot air on the inside of the mask and the cold water on the outside of the mask, and that kind of condensates the tempered glass within the mask itself. So there's two techniques to get rid of this. The one that I prefer is just to use a lighter, but this is does take a little bit more care when doing. And the second one is just simply with some standard toothpaste that you can find at any store. So first one, with a lighter, basically what we want to do is we want to burn through what we call mold release, or the silicone layer that comes on the glass itself when these masks are released from the factory. So basically make sure that your mask is tempered glass and not plastic. So you'll see this little T that stands for tempered glass, and it means that if we do take a lighter to this, we're not going to burn through the mask itself. So generally what I want to do, I just want to get the lighter underneath the glass itself and slowly burn away a little bit of that silicone residue, and you'll see, if the camera allows, that I've kind of got some burn on the glass itself, and that is just the silicone. So you can see that on my finger, that silicone residue has kind of been burnt away. You do this a couple of times as you go out diving. I usually carry the lighter with me when I first buy a mask, and I just do it just briefly before I dive in, and this will slowly get rid of that silicone. Just make sure you do not burn through any of the skirting, and apply the flame very gently, and do not burn through the mask itself. But that, in my opinion, is kind of the best way of getting rid of that risk of fogging, which is really, really annoying when you're underwater. Second way of doing that is just with toothpaste. If you're worried about open flames and not as adventurous, standard toothpaste will work. And basically, I pour the toothpaste into the mask itself, rub that around, and let it sit overnight. Then just kind of slowly wash it away with water. You will have to do this a few times, but basically the idea is that the abrasive effect of the toothpaste will slowly degrade the silicone residue over time. That is a good way of doing it, but in general, those are your two options. They work quite well, both of them. I prefer the lighter, as I've mentioned. I just find it works a bit faster. I can see the results quite quickly. But that, in a nutshell, is how you prep your mask for your first dive. One added trick: on the day of the dive, it is always good to use a bit of baby shampoo and just pour this into the mask itself, rub that around, and then wash that off with water. And this is going to allow the mask to kind of, again, reduce the amount of fogging that happens if the mask is new. As you've gone through your lighter option or your toothpaste option, this will become less and less needed, but it is a nice one to kind of make sure that you don't get that mask fog while you go out diving. Make sure that you do use baby shampoo, because it doesn't burn the eyes. Regular shampoo burns the eyes, I know from experience. But anyway, that hopefully prepares your mask for your first dive. I'll see you out on the water, and enjoy the experience. So thank you very much. Bye.